I mean, you like hokey pokey, don't you?
I do like the hokey pokey.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and sump pump technicians.
You know, eventually spring and summer weather will be here, and it's going to feel so good to be outside. That is, unless your feet hurt. It's Mike Elliott for the Good Feet Store. And for the first time in years, my feet feel fantastic with my personalized Good Feet arch supports in my shoes, in the yard, in the garden, on the golf course. I can't wait. You know, it is pretty incredible how we just sort of tend to get used to dealing with foot pain and discomfort. And if you work on your feet for a living, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I didn't think Ella could be mean, but
your knees,
I saw
your hips,
it today.
your back. It all starts with your feet. And the experts at the Good Feet Store know exactly what to do. They'll get you fitted for your personalized Good Feet arch supports, and then you'll be literally off and running.
You know, last week
you can make an
give her a
appointment
shout
with the Good
out.
Feet Store, or
I mean,
you can
that
just
was a
walk in and bring as many
shout
shoes
out.
as you'd like, and you can try the Good Feet arch supports.
I don't know.
Find them in Grove City, Stringtown Road, Polaris Parkway, by the mall. Goodfeet.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
JC, did I tell you this morning?
And WTVN Columbus.
Notification that we are doing
iHeart radio station.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. President Trump calling on other countries to send warships to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. With oil and gasoline prices higher because of the Iran war, Iran's closed the Strait of Hormuz, through which passes about a fifth of the world's oil supply. President Trump is turning to other countries for assistance. In one social media post, Mr. Trump claimed that many countries will be sending warships. Then in another post, he listed a bunch of countries by name and that hopefully they'll send ships to help. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
We've reached out to the White House for clarification as to what countries have agreed to this. Is this a formal agreement, or is the president in his post, as he is saying, just hoping that countries are going to help escort these tankers through the Strait of Hormuz? Because this has become a real problem for the administration. Gas prices are skyrocketing. Oil prices are up because the Strait of Hormuz, which is where about a fifth of the world's oil passes through, that is effectively closed.
The U.S. has successfully achieved several of its military goals, like taking out much, but not all of Iran's missiles and drones, says ABC News military consultant Mick Mulroy.
But I think the U.S. can look for and should look for an off-ramp, and does have the ability to say that we accomplished those key critical military objectives.
In a social media post, President Trump writes that Iran's military capabilities are destroyed 100%, but added that they still pose a threat. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres visiting Lebanon today, speaking with refugees who fled the most recent bombings between Israel and Hezbollah, the Iran-backed militant group. Guterres concerned that those displaced would never be able to return to their homes in southern Lebanon.
The people of Lebanon, as well as Israel and all other peoples throughout the region, deserve to live without fear, to raise their children without the sound of sirens and strife.
Listening to ABC News.
An Amish mother from Holmes County who drowned her 4-year-old son, then was found not guilty by reason of insanity, has been committed to a mental health facility in Massillon. Tuscarawas County Common Pleas Court Judge Michael Ernest told Ruth Miller that this is the best for her safety and for the safety of others.
It is my opinion that committing you into the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, specifically to the Heartland Behavioral Health Care Center, is the appropriate placement here.
Miller will have her first review hearing in 6 months and then every 2 years. Miller's purposeful drowning of her son was described by experts as coming from what they said was a spiritual delusion. An exploding fuel tanker last night has closed a highway near Cincinnati. A fuel tanker collided with a car in the southbound lanes of Interstate 471, causing a blast and a huge fireball and shutting down lanes in both directions. The crash caused the tank to flip over, igniting the fuel and engulfing the area in flames. Officials say 3 people escaped with only minor injuries, including 2 children ages 6 and 12. 3 of the service members killed in a military tanker crash in the Middle East were members of the Ohio Air National Guard.
More information is now being revealed about the 6 U.S. service members who were killed when their military refueling tanker crashed in western Iraq. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine and Ohio's U.S. Senator John Husted both taking to social media to offer their condolences now to the families of those lost, and that included 3 Ohio Air National Guard members. Husted posting on X, "These heroes paid the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country," with Ohio Governor Mike DeWine stating that he and his wife Fran are deeply saddened by the news. I'm Allison Wyatt.
And I'm Andy Betts.
Your latest news, traffic, and weather.
If you're not informed, then you're out of the loop.
All you have to do is ask.
Play 610 WTVN on iHeartRadio.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center. Odoo.com, the only business software you need.
It's a beautiful day at the ballpark, Don.
Sure is, Mike.
Looks like they're getting ready for spring tune-ups.
Don't you mean spring training, Mike?
No, I don't, Don. I mean spring tune-ups from Apex Pros, the pros who knows.
Don't you mean the pros who know, Mike?
No, I don't, Don. Getting a tune-up from Apex Pros is the best way to prevent breakdowns this summer, and it's only $29.
Don't you mean $129, Mike?
No, I don't, Don. I mean $29. An Apex Pro comes to your house, something loose, they tighten it, something dirty, they clean it.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue.
No, Don, that's a wedding superstition. This is a spring tune-up from Apex Pros for only $29. Protecting your air conditioner before that's a grounder to first, easy out for Hernandez, before the summer heat starts cooking.
You must think I'm the best sidekick for an announcer ever, Mike.
No, Don, I don't. I really don't.
Columbus loves
Here we go.
Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
It's hard to believe another week has gone by. Wow, so much happened this week. So much happened last night. Jeez. So today, let's see. We're going to JC's going to get to us, get to some news with us. We have kind of 2 guns of the week. One kind of is a gun, one's kind of a not, but that's going to be worth listening to up here shortly. And then finally, how appropriate, we talk flashlights today. I know it may seem a bit boring, but after nights like last night, it is necessary. We're going to talk about different ones that you might consider, what lumens means versus candela, and so much more. All that is coming up next on OnTarget.
Live from LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is OnTarget, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is OnTarget. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Good afternoon. Welcome to OnTarget. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility. And after a week, last week, JC, of only having, I think, a couple people here, you talk about a live studio audience. We're talking about a live.
Boy, whoa, whoa.
I mean, I think I saw Dad parking cars again. And nobody wants that.
He looks like the chairman right now. He's bringing in more chairs for this, folks.
He is, yes. He's in a good role out there amongst the people, as he like to say.
Yeah.
JC, I'm going to say up front, I'm a little bit cranky. I'm a little bit tired, and you walked in the same way. Where this is not good.
I don't know. I got probably about a half an hour of sleep last night, and I went to bed earlier than normal. I just sat there awake, and I could not do anything. So anyway,
it was a little bit of a crazy night. But guys, we are the owners of LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility and are active in law enforcement. But for 1 hour on Saturdays, we get together a group of firearm experts to discuss training tips, new firearms, sometimes political topics, JC. It happens. It happens. But ultimately, our goal is to have listeners and customers with safe, responsible ownership of firearm. That's all we really want.
That's all we want.
That's what we want, is to do it the right way. And so that's what we try to bring each week. Joining me today, what you don't see here, this is the best of all worlds, JC. Ed is monitoring the Facebook, but he's not here. We don't have to see him.
He's not here. Okay, we don't have to see him. Well,
I know.
I miss Ed.
Yeah, I kind of miss him too.
Yeah.
Kind of miss the old guy. But he is out there monitoring Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you can talk to Ed out there. He will monitor that. JC's with me here today. JC, good to see you.
It's good to be seen.
Always good to be seen.
As they say. So.
And apparently we still have Ella. Are you there, Ella?
Yeah,
Hello.
Oh,
there she is.
She's
not that I like to air grievances on the air and stuff, but we gave you a little shout out last week. We never heard nothing.
Did you go back and listen to it?
No.
Yeah. See, that's it.
Well, Ella apparently has another life outside of the station.
I can't believe it.
And we were proud of her and stuff, so we were giving her.
We were giving you some kudos.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have several lives, and one of them involved leaving the room to get tea while you were talking about it. So I didn't hear it. Sorry. Thanks.
So would you like to elaborate on your venture? I think it's this week. Does it start this week?
Next week.
Next week, and you're a director, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Producer on Saturdays and a director during the week, and you're directing at a local play, correct?
It is a play. It is performing at the Columbus Performing Arts Center next week, March 26th through the 29th, so next Thursday through Sunday. Great. And I have to say, not every play is good, but this one is. I only get involved in things that are good. So it's a really great script and great actors, and come support the arts in your community.
There you go. And JC and I are still a little bit hurt though. We tried out, we never even got a call back.
You're just too young and attractive for the parts. I don't know.
Okay. See, JC, I told you it was that.
Sorry.
So, Ellie, that is super cool though.
It really is. We're very proud of you.
Yeah.
Very proud of you.
Yep, so check that out. Guys, we want to thank our good friend Stephen Gutowski for calling in last week. Between him and Cam Edwards, those guys really keep us updated on things that are going on around the country that we wouldn't know otherwise concerning the Second Amendment and right to keep and bear arms.
Day in and day out.
They are. So, and they're always so, I was thinking this morning, I don't think there's been one time that I've asked him or Cam to jump on, and sometimes it's last minute. And they always do. They always do.
Never appreciate that.
Never hesitation. And then our other good friend, Jeff Asher, remember we had him on a couple weeks ago to talk about some of the statistics.
Analytics.
I saw him on CNN or quoted on CNN the other night. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Got the big names. That's excellent.
Good people. So JC's going to get to some news here shortly, and then let's see, Gun of the Week. We have a couple that are up here. One is one that came in a little bit ago, but it's kind of unique, and I've had my eye on it for a while now. But it's one that I know JC and I can talk about for a second. And then the other one there is really unique. It came in this week and has a little story behind it. And it might, put it this way, JC, it might not be what it appears to be.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
If you're watching on Facebook and stuff, you can take a look at it there. And then at 12:30, we're finally, I mean it this time, we are finally getting to the flashlights. And geez, last night as I was sitting in a dark house, we still don't have power, thinking, man, this is great. This is why we need to talk about them. And we're into this, and I was still scrambling around like, honey, where are the flashlights? But there's so much into it now. I mean, get this, JC. One of the mag lights that I originally had when I became an officer, rechargeable mag light, it was the thing. 200 lumens, and it was big.
Yeah.
It was big, right? And now you can get that 500 lumens on a keychain that has a 20-hour runtime.
It is
incredible.
What they've done with flashlights, it is amazing.
It is, and they're not. You don't have to break the bank going into it. So we're going to talk about that, what to look for in buying a flashlight. It doesn't sound exciting, but we kind of think it is.
Well, when the lights are out, like last night, we got a lot of calls. Just a street over from us didn't have any power for a big distance down the way, and we, knock on wood, we had it, so we were good.
Yep. We'd like to thank our sponsors, U.S. Law Shield. Saw them there this morning. Jackson Egress Windows. Blackwing Shooting Center. Actually, Spring Trap League starting this week. Skeet is starting the week of the 24th.
Oh.
And then on May 12th, they have the big Buckeye Blast again. So many things going on up there with our good friends up north. If you're not on their mailing list, it's worth doing. And let's see River's Edge Cutlery, they just got in a new shipment. I was talking to the guys over there of the Microtech, the out the front knives. I guess it's been hard to get lately, and they just wanted us to tell everyone that they got in a new shipment of those. So if you've been in the market for those, definitely a place to go check those out.
Yeah.
And of course, LEPD Training Facility, all supporting the show each week. If you missed the show, Ella puts it out there almost immediately after the show. It's all on the podcast, any place you get your podcasts, iTunes, Google Podcasts, any place like that. Facebook and YouTube, the shows sit out there, the videos, which is kind of neat because you can see the guns of the week, or you can see the 17 flashlights we have here today, and so it's always something you can go back and watch.
Always good. It's always good to do that.
Yep. So, JC, what kind of news you got for us?
Oh, well, again, we have the smorgasbord of news. Not all good at all, but here we go. All right. So, Virginia, now she hadn't signed it yet, but the governor of Virginia, the new governor, said the previous governor had vetoed 40 gun control bills, and she said they have complete control now. They got 13 more legislators and 13 more Democrats. So that many Republicans lost. So she has complete control. She says, I will sign anything you give me. So this is what she did. So the legislature passed it. She may have already signed it by today, but because this is from the 12th that I have from Steve Gutowski. So anyway, residents of Virginia will soon likely be barred from making, but buying, selling AR-15s, AK-47s, and many other popular semi-automatic firearms. Because on last Monday, here just passed, the Virginia Senate passed Senate Bill 749 in a party line vote, which they just, like I said, have total control over. The bill would bar Virginians from acquiring new assault firearms, as they say, or ammunition magazines that hold more than 15 rounds. So they abandoned the 10, they went with 15. So, and this is just after June. This goes into effect on June 1st once she signs it. Now, they can keep the ones they already own. And they don't tell you that, but how do you know it's ones you've already owned? Well, they're probably going to have to register and have everything, every magazine, they didn't talk about that, but that's the only way they would do this. So this bill's going to head to Governor Spanberger, along with some other, they didn't mention this, but I did read that there's 12 other anti-gun bills that are now following right up the line, and they're all going to go to her, and she's going to sign all of them. So the bill would make Virginia just one of 11 states, plus District of Columbia, to ban the sale of many popular firearms, including the most popular rifle in the country, the AR-15. The bill would make it illegal to, as I mentioned, make, import, sell, or permanently transfer, except with family members. You could transfer them to your son, wife, daughter. You could do that. But again, I said June 1st. July 1st is when it goes into effect. So the bill defines an assault firearm as a semi-automatic centerfire. So they didn't say, rimfire, but a semi-automatic centerfire rifle, shotgun, or handgun that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine. So, does anyone have any firearm that will accept a detachable magazine? But it also includes, you have to have one of a handful of these cosmetic or ergonomic features for like rifles, if it's got a folding stock or telescoping stock, collapsible, a thumb hole stock. I never just really understood that. They just copy everything. A barrel shroud, a pistol grip, a second handgun, a threaded barrel.
They're back to the 95 weapons ban. I mean, it sounds...
90s, yeah, 94. Yeah, 94. That's exactly what they're doing. And I've got some really troublesome news that I did not know about is involving this. But so the other thing is the assault firearm does not include antique firearms or any guns manually operated by bolt, pump, lever, or slide action. So you can have,
JC, and one of the things, we talk about this all the time, the modern sporting rifle, it is the most popular rifle out there. Listen to this stat. Now, we talk, I think it's estimated to be about 32 million modern sporting rifles out there. And you flip that on the other side, Ford F-150s, extremely popular, right?
Yeah.
Said to be about 16 million of those on the road. So twice as many of these ARs. And I just pulled this stat. It was actually out there. On average, about 1,500 deaths a year with Ford F-150s and fatal accidents. What is rifles? 300-400 a year by all rifles.
All rifles.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't make sense.
But they just want to disarm America. I mean, that is what they want to do. So this is what they do. Anyway. And why did they get 13 new seats? Well, every town for gun safety, Bloomberg spent over $1.565 million on the elections to get these Democrats elected. And the best that the NRA and the Citizens Defense League spent a total of $55,000 combined.
Wow.
And Bloomberg spent over $1.5 million to get these. So it's really tough. So when Governor Spanberger signs a bill, gun rights activists are going to, I said activists, they're advocates, they're going to face an uphill battle to overcome this because this is why I was really surprised. Of course, we know that assault weapons ban, the Clinton one, was like in '94 is when that went in. Mm-hmm. And the only reason we don't have that, it had an automatic expiration date, 10 years later, which was 2004. But people are just copying whatever that was. And they get this. In nearly 40 years since the policy was first enacted, none of the 11 states or Washington, D.C. who passed a sales ban have ever repealed one. They haven't ever repealed it, and nor has any federal court of appeals ever struck down one in 40 years. Wow. So it's really tough unless you could take control of your state legislature, unless SCOTUS comes up and says, hey, that's our I think our only hope for us. But it's just going to keep on coming. So anyway. All right, here's one that also surprised me. Oh, good old Los Angeles and California. So we know that California has some of the most restrictive gun laws in the nation, and it continues to pass laws that will limit lawful citizens from owning, carrying, or even shooting their firearms. They're putting taxes on their ammo. They're, you have to get a background check to buy ammo. They're trying to overturn, but this is what they have to deal with. But apparently, it doesn't happen to apply to felons. I went, what? But here's the thing. The Los Angeles County Superior Court admitted in a recent statement that it had a backlog of 464,000 arrest deposition reports that it has not filed. And this is over 20 years ago. So what they've done is they just haven't even sent these to the California Department of Justice. So according to the court's report, roughly 147,000 of these were felonies. So, and they're not in the system. So these 147,000 people can go out and buy a firearm. It's just absolutely crazy.
So much of this, JC, seems to go back to the courts. The shooting, one of the shootings we had this week, it was at the college campus. It was the terrorist, right?
Yeah, the terrorist.
So it come to find out he was a felon because he'd been convicted of terrorism charges before. Go figure.
Yeah.
But where he got his firearm, that individual had been charged with straw purchases because in previous years he had bought firearms that ended up in crime scenes and at a homicide. Under the Biden ATF, he was given a written warning by the ATF, don't do that again. And he was a known trafficker like this with these straw purchases. Given a written warning, that guy should have been behind bars at that point.
Oh, absolutely.
And we wonder why, let alone the terrorist. He was convicted of terrorist charges, and his sentence got
criminals don't seem to have any problem getting these. They just want to stop law-abiding citizens from having them. That guy wasn't very smart either, because if the report was correct, they said he sold that guy a Glock for $100. I'm going to say, what? $100? So
it was stolen.
It was stolen.
Yeah,
okay, stolen one.
Yeah.
So he got $100 for the stolen glove.
Yep. JC, let's jump to a quick break, and let's get back and hit a little bit of news since we have some more time, and we'll give that justice. Guys, we're on target. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LEPD Firearms and Range, and we'll be back right after the break.
Info on the go with Columbus's Morning News.
It's Mike Elliott on Monday. Clark Kellogg, former OSU All-American, CBS basketball analyst. The madness begins. Where are the Buckeyes seated and who do they play? Who does Clark have in his Final Four? Clark Kellogg joins me at 8:35. Hope you have a safe and peaceful weekend. Join us Monday for traffic, weather, sports, and business news all morning.
But if they had
all the day's crucial information. Monday morning on News Radio 610 WTBN.
They're losing their jobs simply because.
Wow. Do you have any other stories?
Oh yeah, I got quick ones. I've got not long ones. Yeah. This one is confusing to me, but we'll put it out there. You would think once the Supreme Court. You remember last week when we talked about Supreme Court? They declined to hear. The felon and that woman who had bounced a check into
right.
And they said, "Hey, a felon's a felon. We're just going to remand it back to the court that ruled twice, saying that no, a felon is a felon and you can't own a firearm." Are we on the air now? Or are we not yet? Okay, all right. So I'll talk about this. But
so let's do this. Let's do a couple more news stories to go to the bottom.
Yeah,
because
some are quick.
Yep, and then we will hit the guns of the week. Maybe start it now and then finish it right after the break, and then we'll do a long segment for flashlights.
Yeah, so we got the concealed carry that were issued. That was a report from Dave Yost.
Oh, good.
This also surprised me. So Colorado, they're making it so hard for people to get their concealed carry, yet they still had 27,900 Californians still went through, they said, all the rigmarole and the extra cost to get it this year. But this is what got me. They said, so it's estimated that over 19%.
10 seconds.
19% of the population has their concealed handgun license.
Oh, and just in in Colorado? Or?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's
4-4 iHeart.
Your ABC6 first warning weather for today. Mostly cloudy, cool, but it's going to be 48, so not too bad out there. For tonight, they didn't give me the weather. You're going to be sleeping anyway, so don't worry about that. Sunday, mostly cloudy, windy, warm, showers late in the day, and overnight high of 71. Currently 48 degrees on your severe weather station, News Radio 610 WTVN.
Today's guests and callers are heard on the LegacyRetirementGroup.com phone lines on News Radio 610 WTVN.
Sorry, JC, I was on a Chicago kick this week.
I got to see the Rashawn and they were.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Great to see that many horns in the back of it.
Yeah.
Waiting for the.
Do you know the significance of the title of this? So, this song, 25 or 6 to 4. Do you know what that meant?
No, I think of calibers and powder numbers, and
I
nothing
figured
came up
you
to
did.
me. So,
I figured you did.
25 caliber. Okay.
No, so it was. I read something one time. It was they were staying up all night writing songs, and this was to give a tribute to. They were staying up to 25 or 26 until 4 a.m. So it was 25 or 26 until 4 a.m. So that they wrote the song 25 or 6 to 4.
It was a great group. I think they still had 2 of the original members when I saw them, but it was great.
Yeah,
great.
Guys, welcome back to OnTarget. I'm your host Derek, joined today in the LEPD studios. Speaking of that, JC, and I'm going to throw this. This is not in the script.
Yeah,
it is not in the script, but this is presumably one of your favorite days of the year.
Oh,
yes, we know
it is. Pi Day?
Yes.
Pi Day.
Yes.
Wow. Pi Day.
Pi Day, and every year, and I always put you on the spot. And every year, you fail to not impress us with your knowledge of pi.
It should be a pity party. Someone should say, "Why in the world does he?" What? It does zero good. It's just taking up space, and I can't erase it. But
yeah. So how many digits are you up to now?
Well, today I think I could do 50 or so, but anyway, but it's just boring. But it's like guns. I mean, except for the first part. The first 20 are just like 3.141592653589793233846. Then we get into good stuff. Then we get 264, like the 264 Win Mag. Then we go to the 338, also a Win Mag. So that's always a good one. Then we do the Federal 327 Magnum, and then we'll throw in a 9 for the 9mm. And then we jump into, it was an old basketball score, 502-88. The score was 50-88, but 502-88 for 1971. It was a girls' basketball game. Now we get back into the guns. So we have the Model 69. We have the Model 39. Then we have the Model 93, which was the precursor to the Winchester Model 97. That was black powder. 97 can handle as fluid steel. Okay, so then after that, it's a 97, and then we have one of my favorite guns is the Winchester Model 75 is the next number, and then for Papa, 10. So the Model 10. So
Jay, does your knowledge continue to expand with this? I mean,
it's like it's a reverse. It just people just start to feel sorry for me. I used to sit on the corner with a cup going, but the donation, I know pi to 50 places, give me money. So it does zero. So but anyway, it's Pi Day.
Once a year is Pi Day. So
it's once a year. It's Pi Day. So there we go.
Outside of that, JC, a couple more bits of news you got for us there.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just going to add this real quickly. So this background check for the felons that we talk about that, but they said, I did not know this, but this says that this isn't gun related, but that 25% of all Californians are subject to occupational licensing at their jobs. But if they have a felony, they would lose their ability to do that. So as I go back here, there's going to be a lot of people that didn't get reported that are probably going to lose their jobs because of this clerical mistake that we just talked about. Okay. This is the one that confuses me. We talked last week about the Supreme Court that they did not hear that case where a woman saying, look, I'm denied my Second Amendment rights because, years and years ago I was an addict and I bounced a check, which is a felony, And so she said, but that's all. Now I work with in bad areas with trying to get addicts, to come in and deal with their issues. So she wanted protection, but twice a district court just said, no, sorry, you're a felon, you can't do it. Went to Supreme Court, and they just looked at it and goes, hey, we've been denying felons for over 50 years, so they just said, we're just going to remand it back to the court that denied her twice. So that means, and we talked about that, felons can't own. So here we have Florida. One of the stories is non-dangerous felons retain their rights in Florida. So this guy named Christopher Morgan was convicted in Pennsylvania in 2007. He was caught carrying a firearm without a state license in Pennsylvania, which was a felony. But 15 years later, he stopped, which would have been 22. He was stopped by a Florida officer. And as soon as he got stopped, he goes, oh, by the way, I have a pistol in the center console. And he was charged in Florida with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. So he had no other criminal history at all. So before his trial in Florida, Morgan's defense team made a motion that the state's firearm law, which is no one cares that it's 790.23, they said it was unconstitutional both facially and as applied to him. But the trial court denied his motion. But last month, the Florida Attorney General, James Othmeyer, issued a response to Morgan's appeal, and he said the conviction for possessing a firearm by a felon violates his Second Amendment rights, and they threw it out. So it's so confusing that you have, hey, here's what it is, and a state can be so autonomous, like, that's okay in Florida. You can be you kind of like threw me off. All right, real quick one, which is Dave Yost, Attorney General, released the concealed carry permits issued in 2025, and there were 77,159 concealed carry permits. Of those, 13,876 were brand new licenses, and we do our training here, so that's really good. And 63,283 were renewals. So it's good that we're still doing it, even though it's constitutional carry. We really strongly suggest that you get that. And last one. Nearly 28,000 Colorado concealed carry permits were issued in 2025. You know about Colorado, Democrats, they want to get rid of guns. They want to ban everything. They made it so expensive to get your concealed handgun permit, yet they had 27,901 that still went through it. Last year, they had 29,400 saying. What it amounts to is, and this surprised me, the Crime Prevention Research Center estimated that over 19% of Colorado population that is 21 years or older have their concealed handgun permit.
That's a huge number.
Yeah, like 1 out of 5.
Huge number. Guys, let's jump to the bottom of the hour news. On the other side, we're going to talk Gun of the Week, and we're going to talk flashlights and much, much more. We're on Target, broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms and Range. We'll be back after the break.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising because they made it really expensive, and you have to get, before you can even get a gun, you have to go through the training, you have to pay for all that, and you got to pay that yourself. But yet that's so that makes it. Oh, and by the way, that percentage-wise, 4 of their biggest counties, the sheriffs did not put in reports, and last year 5,000 people were.
Look at that. Look, of all people, you would think the guy who is here the longest, wouldn't have things going off in his pocket during a live radio show.
What do you got in there?
We're on break. Valid point.
You got a chipping sparrow in your pocket there? What is that?
Apparently he has his pet bird in his pocket.
Wow.
Why'd you bring your rape whistle to the show? It sounded like a rape whistle.
Yeah,
valid point.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
JC, when we come back, we'll quickly do those, and then since we're talking about a 36 kind of prop gun, let's throw a blurb in for this those who want an optic on your Model 36. You don't have to leave. All right.
So, they don't even mention the 36. They just go right to the 442 and the 642, the 432. The
JC, I have had this idea rolling around in my pea brain, and it's probably a stupid idea, but it could be one of those ideas that goes big. We've done T-shirts here before.
Yes, we have.
Yes, and I have, for the last couple of years, have been penciling down random one-liners from old songs that are kind of eye-shocking.
Yeah.
And then, like having that on a shirt, and then like on the tag or on the bottom having who it was and stuff. And putting this under the OnTarget thing. I mean, like
that's pretty cool.
Like one could say, just 25 or 624, and people are like, "What the hell is that?" And it's Chicago. Or there's a whole slew of them.
Yeah. Well, that could be cool.
I don't know.
Very good.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's some good T-shirts out there. One of my favorite was because two of my family went to OU, and there's a guy who'd been there for 50-some years making T-shirts, and he had the Dead Bar Society, and it was every bar that was there and folded.
So that's good.
He had 4 totally separate T-shirts covered. There were that many that were there, and I was very surprised about that.
So, JC, how about this one? I'm a winner. I'm a sinner. Do you want my autograph? Supertramp.
Supertramp. Supertramp.
Okay.
10 seconds.
I'm a man in short pants. I'm a boy in a trance. Tom Petty.
Search sports and listen now.
Live from LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is OnTarget, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is OnTarget. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Welcome back to OnTarget. I'm your host, Eric. Joined today in the LAPD studios. I got JC to my left. We got a live studio audience out there.
Look at them.
There it is.
I mean, they are live.
They are
a
live.
lot of them. I had to bring out extra chairs.
Speaking of live, we have Ella back at the station and Big Ed on Facebook. What more could you want? As always, every week we say the same thing. This is worth watching on YouTube or Facebook because the what goes on in the breaks, I think sometimes more entertaining than the show.
Yeah, because we can say things we can't say on the show.
That's right. That is right. Guys, we're going to jump to Guns of the Week. These are sponsored this week by our good friends over at River's Edge Cutlery. We have 2 here. The first one I'm just going to give a shout out for because it came in last week. I was super excited about it because I like the small revolvers. JC, when we got this in, I'm like, oh, look at that. A Smith & Wesson Model 36 revolver. Looked like a Model 36 until we started looking at it. Come to find out, I then thought it was like a starter pistol. And so I thought, okay, kind of neat, but it looks really close.
Yeah, it doesn't look like your funky starter pistols. It actually looks like the real deal.
Further research determined that it is a prop gun. It's a movie prop gun, weighted like a real gun. The grips at first glance look like Smith grips, and actually we took them off. I think Smith grips will fit on it, but it is a true movie prop gun.
Cool.
And it had some type of special ammunition you put in it that would give a rapport of a shot without anything coming out.
Yeah, it has shields in the end of the cylinder to stop anything from really coming out, but. Maybe we could interest Ella in that. Maybe she could use that in her when she directs her new play.
Yes, we have a prop gun for you, El. Kind of to that, JC, we got something in a couple weeks ago. It's been sitting on the desk for a while here, and I guess it's just the signs of the times. It's kind of neat, but what is it?
Well, what this is a company called Shield Arms has come out with a way to make your Smith & Wesson little 2-inch barreled ones that work on a Model 36, a Model 442, 642, 432, the 43, and the 351C. And what it does is if you really, maybe some people have problems with eyesight, it gives you a method of putting a red dot on your little self-protection carried revolver. So if you have a J-frame, it's metal, it's very sturdy, and it just, of course, as you can imagine, you remove the screws from the side plate, and it comes with longer screws, and it will pop right in there. But for people that may really need that red dot, there's a lot of people have some vision issues, and anyway, so it'll fit right on there. Don't cut me off; it's a piece of metal. But anyway, so you can actually put a red dot.
And Shield Arms, these are they're a big name. They make a lot of magazines for aftermarket for Glocks and so forth. So if that's something that interests you, it is certainly here for sale. JC, the last thing, the true gun of the week this week is one that came in a few weeks ago.
I didn't see it, but
Did you see it up there?
I got to handle it, but
so it's a Colt.
Yeah, it's a Colt Combat Commander, and I'll be happy to tell you. I got the very first one in Central Ohio. I heard it was coming out. There were 19 gun stores in Central Ohio. I called them every single day for a month, every day, every one of them, to see who got it in first. And a gun store I never heard of in Grove City. I went down there and saw I had my very first one, which was blued. But the Combat Commander was an all-steel frame one versus the Commander, which had the aluminum frame. So, but it's just that 4-inch barrel. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gun. My original one, my mainspring housing has a lanyard, little lanyard loop on the bottom of it. But this is an early one, and they are so
I love
great.
the finish. It's a
finish.
It's like a matte nickel.
You're right. It's that brushed nickel, as they call it.
Nickel, yeah.
And it is absolutely beautiful. So, it is a great gun. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, one we don't see every day here.
Yeah.
So, JC, to give us enough times to talk flashlights, let's go to an early break, and then we can run it the rest of the way, if that's okay with Ella. Let's jump to a break, and we'll come back and talk flashlights for the rest of the show. We're on Target, broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms Range. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Not sure if that actually went to the break. Are you there, El? JC, we still might be on. So if we're on, we may well start teeing it up, I guess.
Okay.
Until we get Miss Ella back there. Flashlights, John.
You had just come back from break, so I just went to the bathroom. What did you do?
I was going to another break.
You never do that. You come back at 12:30 after the news, and you never go to break until it's 12:50, and I text you, go to break. We're almost done.
You're supposed to.
And this time when I go to the bathroom, you go to break 2 minutes later.
You know what? Maybe you're supposed to read my mind. Duh. All
right, so.
All right,
cool.
You want to go to break now?
You want to go to break now?
Let's go to break.
Now we're going to go to break.
This story, the most fighters.
How many times does one...
Jesus Christ, you gotta be kidding me.
How many times...
You've got to be kidding me.
Does one go to the bathroom in one day?
Yeah.
Well, I sit here and I drink about 60 ounces of tea Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
I knew
60 ounces of tea.
The good thing is, Ella, I am being a seasoned professional. When I didn't hear anything, we didn't start our normal cussing and everything else. So.
Yeah, that's a very good thing.
Yes.
60 ounces of tea.
You have never in your, like, the one time I know I'm safe to leave the room is when we come back from the 12:30 news. That's the safest time for me to go to the bathroom.
You're
so I
never safe around us.
See, the thing was, though...
Because you always take a 20-minute segment there.
So I thought, we're off cycle, because I thought you were in the bathroom at the beginning, like when you missed the shout out last week.
No, that was last week.
See?
I didn't go to the bathroom. I went to get tea. I made tea last week.
Right. This
week I went to the bathroom.
So you're saying we got a tea and a pee break?
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I assume that when you go into a segment, I've got at least 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, you got to watch that. Don't be like the Indian that drank too much tea because he drowned in his own teepee. So.
Did you make it back from the restroom or did you hear?
Well, I'm back.
Well, I know that. I didn't know if you heard us saying go to the.
Guess what? You're back on.
Your ABC 6
Where are you? Did you go to the bathroom?
Your ABC 6 first warning weather for today. Mostly cloudy, cool, but seasonable, high of 48. Tonight, I don't have the weather, so you'll be sleeping anyways. Don't worry about it. For Sunday, mostly cloudy, windy, very warm, showers late, and it's going to get up to 71 tomorrow, so it should be kind of nice. Currently 48 degrees on your severe weather station, News Radio 610 WTVN.
News Radio 610 WTVN.
Welcome back to OnTarget. You know, John, once we get beyond our first 1 or 2 shows, I think we should have all these bugs ironed out.
Yeah, we should be working on it anyway.
Jeez. Yeah. So we're back. Here's the good news. We're back. We have an entire long segment now to talk about flashlights. It's almost like a curse. We've been trying to talk flashlights forever now.
And you've added a few more, so it's given us time to bring in some more samples.
So flashlights, why are they important? What the heck? What should you know about them? One of the things that we've seen lately is a discussion between lumens and candela. And depending on what manufacturer you look at, they rate them differently. Mm-hmm. So you can get caught up in, how many lumens is it? Oh, yeah, but this is rated in candela, so how do they compare? So kind of to set the record straight on lumens versus candela, lumens is a measurement of the total raw light output in all directions. So you can kind of think of it as a floodlight is just pouring out light. So it defines the overall brightness, whereas candela is a measurement of the intensity of the brightness in a specific beam. So, for instance, something that is high lumen with low candela is basically a floodlight. So you're not going to be able to see 100 yards down, but right in front of you is going to be lit up. Conversely, if something is a high candela light, but a low lumen, then you're going to get something that you can really spot way out there.
Yeah.
The uniqueness about all this now, some of these flashlights are so sophisticated, they can do both. Yeah. And one of my favorite ones, it's a light that I use on duty. It has a really high lumen one for a flood. It will light up my entire backyard, but at the flip of a switch, it flips it to a very, very high candela output that I can almost shine in the sky, and almost like those old lights that you used to see shine up. Those
floodlights that you have a shopping center opening, things like that.
So I mean, so now it's neat. You don't necessarily have to choose one or the other, but it's certainly important as you're going into some of these less expensive flashlights to decide what's important for you. For me, it's always been the lumens. I want something that's going to light up my immediate area rather than something that's a tight beam.
Yeah, especially if we haven't gotten to that, but I mean the flashlights that attach to firearms, the one that has high lumens is more appropriate because you can see the entire area.
Exactly. So a couple different things. We keep saying it. They have come a long way. My original Maglite, I think, was 200 to 300 lumens. And we were thrilled. It was rechargeable, 200 to 300 lumens. It would last a good shift, so probably 8, 10, 12 hours before it started to die. And now you can get, here we have on the table a little Phoenix light that is a keychain light. It is 500 lumens, and it has a runtime of, I think, 25 hours. 30 hours, actually.
30 hours.
So it is really incredible
look at that.
what they've done. So some of the give and takes on that is some of these you have to really watch. They can get hot. And we've seen that, especially as these started to come on the market. Some officers we saw would have them in their pouches, and it's kind of the old pouches where they had the flap over the top. And if they accidentally get hit on, it would melt it. It would melt some of the pouch. They were so hot.
We had that one guy who came in with that. We just had it for one day, and it got on, and it melded his lens out of his flashlight.
Yeah, so you certainly have to watch that. Some of them, they advertise a high lumen, but that might only be for a few moments before it steps itself down. Some of them now are pretty sophisticated, have some onboarding of knowing the temperature, so it will step down before it does any harm. Some of the new ones now, if you put something directly in front of it, it will automatically dim it. So, if it gets kicked on in a bag or something, it will automatically dim itself. So there's all kinds of new features and stuff. And what else? So as you're going through the different ones, and most of the ones we're talking about are ones that you could fit in your pocket or in a go bag. Some of the things that are big now, tail cap actuated versus actuated on the side. If you're wanting it for a quick, tactical sense, I always tend to like the tail cap ones. They seem to come on.
That's already hurting my eyes from here, and you're just shining it in your hand. Wow.
But some of these that are actuated from the side, you can actually turn them on, and then they have some neat features now where you can just simply spin a knob for the brightnesses and get it to go really high. This one actually, look at that, Jen. It has actually a little computer display on it.
Yeah, it tells you how much your battery life is left. It's just amazing.
It is. One of the things that you run into as well is strobing. A lot of these can still strobe. One of the neat features of many of these is not only do they have a tail cap actuation, is that they have another auxiliary button that you can go immediately to a strobe or immediately to a high, higher output. It's incredible.
It's incredible, and I don't know if we have any here that are attached to the firearms, but the purpose of putting a light on a firearm for home and not a laser is the fact that the light does several things. The biggest thing is that we talked about, it illuminates the entire area, but also blinds the person that's coming in, and on the strobe they don't have a chance to recover because it gets hit, and then your eye, and it really has a lasting effect on the strobe. Plus, it also saves your battery. So it's only on half the time. But I used to have lasers, and I do not anymore. Now I have the lights on the firearms, and it makes me feel very, very, very comfortable.
And some of these too, I mean, you really have to watch by which brand. Some of them don't strobe. So my duty one right now does not strobe. I have a backup one that strobes, and you put a cone on that, and I can run that in an intersection for hours, directing traffic, and with that strobe, it just goes for a long time. One of the neat things, though, some of the O-lights, one of the popular brands, they charge by a magnet. So it has a USB charger, and the other side is just a magnet, so it sits on it. So the base of the flashlight itself are magnetic. What's neat about that is these also strobe, and you could keep it in your car and simply stick it to the side of your vehicle if you were broken down, and it gives a pretty darn bright strobe for something that is, what is that, like a couple inches long?
Yeah, it's just about the two joints of your finger, I think, and it's really, it's amazing. Those are amazing. I have two of those, and I just swear by them. One last thing on putting them on for the gun. I talked about how the person can't recover, just finds the area. There's a muzzle flash with everything that you fire. When you fire at a range, you don't see it, but it is there, and a bright flashlight with high lumens will wash that out. So now you can see what you're doing, but you won't be blinded by the flash of the gun. So just keep that in mind too.
Popular brands, certainly the big boys, Streamlight and Surefire, Maglite. But honestly, John, and some people aren't fans of these because they're made overseas, but I have really grown to like the Olight, the Phoenix, the Nightcore. I mean, the Nightcore one now is my go-to on duty, and it is just, it's crazy. And what I like about it, again, prone to being warm at the highest settings, but now on a lot of these, you're starting to see a manual lock. So I don't have to worry about this going off in a pocket or in a holster. But when you turn that on, it is that, pretty darn bright. And then another half push, and you can go real bright, and then all the way you can get to the brightest setting, which is just, I think they're up to 9,000 lumens in a handheld light.
Which is a lot. So, they're just, it's incredible. It's probably one of the biggest changes in all the industry with firearms and accessories, but the lights are just, I don't know if it holds a candela to my Rayovac Sportsman from 1956, I think. But that has a powerful 24 lumens. Actually, if you whiten your teeth and smile, it'll probably be brighter than that light would be. So,
But you were happy. I mean, we never thought there was anything wrong.
That's what you used. But now, that's why I have 6 of them that are going to, probably to the garbage, but I'm going to drop them off at Goodwill.
So charging these things now, JC, we talked about one, the O-Lights. A lot of them have a magnetic charger, just sits right on it. It was not that long ago where rechargeable batteries, you had to take them out and put them in a little charger. That's almost done now too, because most of these lights, you charge them with the battery in them. So you turn the head or you move it one way or the other, and you can simply charge the flashlight right from the outer part of the flashlight.
Yeah, they got a mini USB port on the side of your battery, and you can just it's just absolutely amazing what you can do.
So I ran across something though that is worth saying, because I had my doubts, but my favorite one right now, the Nightcore one, it has an internal battery that's not removable.
Wow.
So the first thing you think about is, okay, when the battery's done, the flashlight's done. Except they have a lifetime warranty.
Oh.
And so when I spoke to them directly, they said, if that, you're talking years down the road. But it's a lifetime warranty, and they will replace it with something if they have the same model, or something equal to it. They said.
Wow.
So, and it's you
can't beat that.
No, you really can't. A lot of these do have like a super light or a super dim mode. Some even have a red mode for kind of being undetected.
Nighttime or where it doesn't wash out your vision. So, yeah.
Yep, and of course the run times on these things have improved. It used to be they would advertise 5,000 lumens and the run time was 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And now you start to get some legitimate run times with those.
You're talking 30 hours on that. I mean, that's pretty much unheard of just even a couple of years ago.
Right. So a lot of these, great. Last night we used, half of these on the table we used. Oh, actually, there's one I want to point out, John. Actually, there's two that have gotten a lot of attention lately.
Yeah.
This, I guess a stiletto type they're calling them, like Streamlights, I think is. Olight has one now. They're flat, and they're not your traditional round flashlight, but they really pack a wallop. They are. Of course, this one's probably locked, so there we go.
Whoa!
It is just crazy bright, and they're meant to be flat, almost like a knife. So when it's in your pocket, it sits kind of flat. So those are super neat. My favorite one right now, too, other than my on-duty one, are these little Olight ones. They have a little tiny clip, and they are great for clipping on a uniform or clipping on your shirt and having your immediate area in front of you lit.
Wow.
I walked. If you peeked in my windows last night,
that was me. That was there.
Was that you, John?
Yeah, that was me. I was peeking in your window
with the lights off. This is what I had, and it was right there on the front, and it lit up everything in front of me. It was perfect. And they come in a couple different models, but little Olights, and they're not expensive whatsoever.
It reminds me of the modern version of the old military one that had the L-shaped, and you clip it on your vest or something, but those were the old double D batteries, and this is just amazing.
It truly is. Rugged and everything else too.
How many of these do we sell here? Do you know?
Every one of these except John's 1952 one is for sale here.
It is for sale if you wanted to stroll back memory lane.
Yeah, but we do. All of these are here. I have a little bit of a liking for flashlights, so we tend to stop.
I would say that the flashlight fetish, as your employees always say.
Yeah, it's such a harsh word.
Well, I know, but it's just amazing. Yeah. They're amazing. And you need to get them. And if you have a firearm that takes that you have a place, you need to get one for the home. So
the other thing too, and it's kind of an offshoot of these is. Like the little tiny lanterns now, they've come a long way. In the day you had those remember those big batteries, John? Those big lantern batteries?
Yes.
And you put it in there and it lit up.
6-volt one and
it lit
like
up
a loaf of bread that you'd stick in your.
And it lit up a 12-inch radius around the light.
Yeah.
Well, now Streamlight has a lantern, and we sold them for a while. They're not cheap. They're over $100, but they last forever. And they light up some area. We have a couple of them at home, and we put one in each room, and it lit up the room for many hours. So there's definitely offshoots like that for the home use and stuff. But if you're in the market, stop by and check us out. It's not to say the ones at the at the Walmarts of the world aren't good, but these are ones that are tried and true. A lot of these are bought by local officers, so we know that they work well, and we have experience with them. And
having something that works and lasts a long time is very, really important.
Yep. So there, JC, we finally got out the flashlight segment and stuff. Guys, next week, John, I don't know if I told you about this yet. Next week here in person, and I just spoke to him yesterday, Sheriff Baldwin.
Oh, is he coming on?
Dallas Baldwin. He's actually going to be here in person, talking a little bit about
we had him here in the county. A very long time ago, I think.
It's been a real long time. But he's going to talk about that, talk about recruiting. I was at the event with him yesterday for DUI task force. So,
well, good.
So
it'll be great.
He's excited for that. So we'll talk to him and a little bit more gun of the week.
And we got that optic conversion. So if you want to take a revolver and stick your Smith & Wesson J-frame revolver, want to make it a red dot? We got the conversion here.
Thanks for spending the last hour with us. Next week we'll get a handle on Ella's bathroom schedule a little bit better.
We'll try to do that.
Guys, as always, let's be careful out there.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio apps. Save 610 WTBN Columbus on your presets. Free never sounded so good.
Forget the pot of gold. Save some green at Coghlan Chevrolet. Lease a new 26 Chevy Trax, $169 a month. New 26 Equinox, lease for $229 a month. Or lease a new 26 Silverado, $359 a month. Visit CoglanChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Coghlan has the car for you.
39-month lease at Silverado, 36-month lease. $39.99 due at signing plus tax, title, and license. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/26.
This is Greg Truzinski of the Original Mattress Factory. OMF is kind of a unicorn in the mattress business. We build every mattress ourselves, right here in town, with quality materials that last. Then, we sell them directly to you, no middleman marking up the price. The result? Better quality mattresses for less money. That combination shouldn't exist, but it does. And you can see it for yourself by stopping by any of our locations around town. Or check us out at originalmattress.com.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage.
It does.
You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Some of them you really have
Get
to
your
watch.
free quote at ethos.com/save.
This is my latest
That's
favorite one.
ethos.com/save. Paid
a hard
spokesperson.
lock
Time
there,
spent on application may vary.
and
Online health questions
you can
required.
turn it on. And
you ever
then
wonder why
toggles
Verizon
between
charges
4.
twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service?
Then once
think it might have
it's
something
on,
to do with the fact
if
that
you,
Verizon spends $12 billion a year
hard
on
press it there,
advertising
and then one more.
promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a